It is show time. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Agent Outreach Live. This week, we are brought to us by Rockstar Punched. So every week, we got to give our shout out to my drink of the week. Landry, how are you doing today?
I'm great. The week's already flying by. How about you, Ryan?
No complaints. Not gonna lie, I totally blanked on a deal yesterday. I thought it closed on, I don't know, I was thinking the 4th or the 6th. And next thing you know, I got an email that says we recorded. And I was like, well, that's good, but it's also concerning because I didn't realize the right date. So if that tells you
Oh
where
my
I'm at
gosh.
on the week, I am all over the place trying to catch up with some stuff. Amber is actually sick. So I'm like boyfriend times 2, business owner times 2. It's like crazy, but all is good. Everybody's good. We are rocking and rolling.
Nice. Well, I'm excited for today. If anybody was here last week, Ryan did something a little different than we usually do on this show. If Ryan, you want to kind of tell everybody about it, like why that was so significant
For sure.
with calling about listings instead of what we're going to switch back to today and kind of break it down.
Definitely. So first off, obviously variety. I mean, at a certain point, Landry, it's easy. You can come up here, hang out, watch you with all the stuff with Batch, but why would they continuously watch Ryan make calls to agents over and over and over? Well, there's a few things. Number one, it might be your market. So if it is your market, what I do after the show is I actually give out the agent relationships to people that are in our community Discord. So first off, there's an advantage there. The second piece is that this show is called Agent Outreach Live. So agent outreach is a specific strategy within real estate investing, very commonly within real estate wholesaling. But one of the things that I think is overlooked within agent outreach is that it's in different forms. A lot of times what people do is they'll text, they'll call, they'll email, they're faxing, they're sending pigeon mail, whatever it is at this point, just to get in contact with the agent, but they're only doing it for off-market properties. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but what I try to challenge to that is that there's opportunities on the MLS. So if there's on-market opportunities and we are real estate investors looking for deals, agent outreach can also be in the form of MLS. So last week we were on the MLS using BatchLeads, hanging out, trying to figure out some motivated sellers and agents that wanted to work with us and get some offers. Got a couple submitted, did not get anything from it, but also we only did it for an hour long. And I think I submitted 2 out of the 4 conversations. So that was last week's show. Different variety, different spin on things. And so this week we're bringing it back to cold agent outreach outbound. Next week we'll be back to MLS.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it was really good to kind of just show the varying ways, especially for those of you that either are going to be jumping into BatchLeads, which I'll drop this for you guys. Try this out so you guys can do exactly what we'll showcase for you and how we're getting these lists of agents in BatchLeads and the different ways that we go about it. Because once again, last week, if you go back to that or if you join us for the next show, you'll see how you can start building these really good lists of even those on-market properties to find the description telling you that, hey, we're only accepting cash offers, as is, investor special. It was so easy for me to find those properties for Ryan to start calling the agents on last week. And it's super easy to use the filters to pull these lists as well. So let me submit this for you guys, but check it out. You guys can give it a try, and then I'll kind of show you a little bit from what we can, because you have to blur so many things on YouTube, as you guys know, but
I love it. And also, the main thing, Landry, you're posting this link, but let's make sure we make note of this. The reason we're posting the link is because we are both doing agent outreach for off-market opportunities through the agent outreach section, but then we're also using the same software to look at on-market deals. So, Landry, do you want to tell us a quick little second about that lovely little software?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to send this to you. If you could post the link, I don't know why it's not letting me in there. It just doesn't give me the ability, but yes, let me pull this up for you guys and give you an idea of what this kind of looks like in terms of at least what we're covering today.
For sure. So that first one is that community link. I just dropped it in the chat. And then we also have, if you are looking at signing up with BatchLeads, this is the link to get a little bit of a better deal.
Yes. And if you guys get in the community, you guys can send me a direct message there if you have questions ever about BatchLeads, Batch Dialer. Even if you don't use the systems or you're not really feeling like you want to try it out right now, that's fine too. You guys can join just in general to network and make connections with other amazing people in the group. So anyway, how we went about pulling these lists today, I pulled 2 different markets, and We'll tell you guys about those in a little bit, and then we'll have you guys probably vote to see where you guys want Ryan to start calling into. But all you do essentially is you come into, my mouse can come over here. You go to this little tab. It's in the lowest plan. So even in your free trial, you get it, and everybody has this. But agent outreach, you come into the agent search. You have to search for a location, like you have to go to an area, whether it's a city, a county, a zip code, whatever. And then you can do a lot of different things like find and target agents, or find people under their name, the brokerage they're at, the active listing count. We usually always do that one. I'll have Ryan explain why it would be beneficial to filter things down or leave it more broad as well for you guys as well. But a lot of these, you don't have to really overthink. Like if we just pulled up like a random list in any market, you could call those agents too. It doesn't have to be under a bunch of crazy criteria, but it does make your life easier, which is the whole point of filters. But active listings that they have currently on the market, average listing price, if that's important to you, sold listings in an amount of time, sold amount in a time period, and then you can sort the list by like number of expired listings from high to low, or number of active listings from low to high, whatever you want. But it just allows you to have more
And
control.
that sort, if I'm not mistaken, is a new tool, correct? That sort
Yeah.
by?
Yeah.
So,
Super nice. It just makes it so much easier to find exactly who you're looking for in that agent directory. If you guys haven't given this a try, it literally takes you like 30 seconds to pull up just an awesome list of real estate agents.
make sure to go to this link. Seriously, guys, like get the trial, try it out. One thing that I want to make a note of is they're constantly making updates. So while this is consumer focused, we want you to understand that the cool thing about a company like Batch is that they are receptive. So that sort by, for example, that was some feedback that I'd offered when Agent Outreach had first come out into the software. So one thing that I wanted was that when we could sort it by, let's say that we were even just filtering. Let's, before we get into sorting, we were filtering it based off of 3 sold listings, 5 sold listings in the last 6 months. Those are great searches.
Mm-hmm.
I was now able to go in and sort it based off of the volume rather than it being an alphabetical order of the agent. So why would that be important? Well, it's cool to be able to see who the highest performing agents are, typically team leads, brokerages, iBuyers, institutional representatives. Any of those 4 are typically your top 10, top 20 agents in your market. But with that said, the 20 plus mark, 20, 50, 20 to 100, those rankings are typically the best realtors to work with if they already don't have an investment division. Now, what is the best list is probably going to be a common question here. I want the best list to be the one that you're going to call. It doesn't really matter to me as long as it's in your market and it's something that you feel that you can go and call comfortably and confidently. So with that said, we can't show you guys all the details inside the software because of YouTube's regulations, but what we can do is we can make this a collaborative show. So what we want you guys to do is help us vote today on which market we're going to call. I have lists from 2 realtors, but what we're going to do is ask you guys and you're going to help us pick. Landry, it is between San Antonio?
Detroit? Yeah. So San Antonio and Detroit.
All right. So guys, if you want Detroit, give us a 1 in the comments. If you want San Antonio, give us a 2. 1 for Detroit, 2 for San Antonio. Let us know which one you would rather see.
And real quick, Ryan, pull this back up and I'll just show you guys. It's still going to be blurred, but just to give you an idea of after you do this, like this is how I pulled both lists today. I used filters like this to find those active agents. Nothing that's too crazy. You know, somebody that has active listings currently like 3, maybe you mess around with it. It doesn't have to be super complicated. And then 5 sold in the past 6 months, just to give you an idea. And then typed in Detroit, you know, kind of deal, clicked apply, and it pulls up a list like this. You already have their phone numbers. You have their fax number, their email address, like everything you need to know without having to spend any additional money to get their information. You have a literal list of all of their listings that have sold, that have expired, canceled, that are pending right now. You have all of the information on it. It's pretty cool because it only takes you a couple seconds and you don't have to be going through realtor.com to find those really good agents that you want to reach out to. You legit just have a list of whoever you want to reach out to. So give it a try.
This is an all-in-one CRM. So like the best thing about this is that as I'm going through making these calls, I have Landry putting notes in for the conversations we're having with realtors. You can save
Yeah.
these, favorite them, you could put them into a list, you can make this as easy as possible for your follow-ups. The best part about this, and the reason why I think that I'm here, obviously, is that this is our strategy. MLS deals and agent outreach, it's all under one umbrella, and we are super fortunate to have a software like Batch. So the list that I have in my phone that Landry sent over is exactly this list right here that you guys just can't see because it's blurred. So with that said, I mean, look at these comments. We've got a clear winner here.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay, so I kind of thought that was going to happen.
Me too. I was like, I think it's favoritism because I really like Detroit pizza, that like that's what I would prefer. But yeah, I mean, the chat just came in to be like, nah, this is San Antonio.
I had a feeling. I really hoped that Detroit had a chance, because I have some people.
We got one vote in there, but the rest, I mean, landslide victory to San Antonio.
Yeah. There's also so many people in Texas all over. So yeah, I'm excited. This is the San Antonio list that you guys are seeing. But when you save people, you also have the ability to, filter out your list. You can select them and you can export them, pull them off your account. And once again, like Brian was saying, manage them all right here, because you're not pulling. I mean, who knows? You might go about it differently if you are going to go about blasting things out to a ton of agents. But most of the time, and at least what you guys will see in this show, is that it's, maybe he'll have the opportunity to call like 20 people or whatever. And a lot of the time we'll end up having some really good conversations. We don't need to go and pull a list of 5,000 different real estate agents. We can pull a list of like 30 people, or even just go down the line and save them as we go. Because once again, you get the info without even saving them. So that's really the power behind this. It takes a couple seconds to have an awesome list of agents. So give it a try. And if you guys get in the community, send me a message if you need help or have questions or anything, and I can absolutely help you with the software side of things. With that being said, let's do this.
We're rocking and rolling. I'm going to do a little bit of a different approach today because obviously inside my experience here and just doing the show and getting comfortable on camera, all that, we just jump right into it. And that's kind of my style. A lot of DMs I got over the last week kind of carried over even 2 weeks ago, where people are like, Ryan, I worry that I don't sound like you on the phone. So with that, I'm going to do a few things today. I'm going to first off make the conversations a little bit more normal, kind of like more beginner level. But then the second piece to this is that I think that a lot of it is that we're caught in feeling like we need to know everything. So I just want to offer some, first off, words of wisdom and encouragement. And then two, I want to make sure we know that there's different styles and varieties here that you can do to make this your own. You don't need to go out there and try to replicate to be Ryan Zolin. And quite frankly, I wouldn't want you to do that anyway, because if you're trying to be somebody else, the odds are you're going to lose what your secret sauce is in this strategy, which is going to be you. It's your personality. It's you being different. Not every realtor that I talk to, I'm going to have an amazing conversation. So I put this message in my Discord. I think this was yesterday or 2 days ago. But one of the notes that I made was that you need to sound almost like you don't have confidence. The more confident that you sound, the less likely a realtor is going to be turned on to working with you. So if I was in the point where I'm feeling like I need to know everything, the reassurance is that you don't. The next piece is that if you're first off going to make a call, and this is maybe even the first call to an agent, let's put our phone down. Let's have a moment. Let's take a deep breath. Let's do maybe words of affirmation. Let's journal. Let's talk about it. If you feel nervous, if you feel excited, odds are it's a good thing. That means that you're getting out of your comfort zone and you're trying to go and do something new. You didn't get on the bike and start riding it without training wheels the first time, I think, right? That's the same thing here. So with that, just make sure you take a minute, have the awareness, have the just appreciation for the opportunity. I mean, how many people would love an opportunity like this where maybe they could go out there and make some calls for you, but their schedule just doesn't allow it. So us being able to be here live, watching the replay, or even just given the opportunity throughout the day to go and do this, it's actually a blessing. So let's call some agents in San Antonio. Let's show kind of a little bit more of a beginner level conversation. I might still throw out that I have all the pieces. The only thing I'm missing is a realtor. I'm not going to jump into saying, hey, I've got flip experience. If it comes out, I apologize in advance. But what I would say is find a JV partner, find a buyer that you feel comfortable with, that you could go to and say, hey, can I use these deals as a reference so that I can put property under contract and then bring it to you? Remembering that the hardest part of being an investor is to find a deal means that your buyers are struggling to find deals, especially in this current market. So why wouldn't they be more than willing to say, yeah, this is a JV partner. Here's a couple of flips that I've done. Use that as a reference to go get deals and bring it back to me. The only thing I'm really going to make sure to hit home on that point is that if you're going to use their references, you need to bring the deal to them first. Then if they decide to pass, you could either JV and wholesale together, or you bring it to a new buyer. No harm, no foul, but you at least got past the proof of funds, past deals, anything along those lines. So again, if it comes out, I apologize, but what I want you guys just to remember, there is literally no script here other than just sounding confused. The only time I jump into being the savvy investor is when I'm talking to an agent investor already. This is somebody that is very fluid in the investment space. They might be flipping, they might be buying rentals, they might even just work with other investors. But that's the only time I try to bring my A game. And if you don't feel comfortable with those conversations, don't sweat it.
I love that though too, Ryan, really quick before you make that first call, because I feel, at least in my perspective of being here on the show with you, and I'm sure you guys can see it too. And if you don't notice it, you can, go and watch any recording where all of the agents are so much more receptive when it's like, oh, you know what? I don't know. I just need somebody to help me out. Instead of it having you start the conversation with just like, I know everything, they're going to be like, oh, great. Well, that's my job. I am here to help you. And obviously they want to
I try to relate it back to like other industries. Like if you're working another job, relate it to your current job. If you're working as an entrepreneur, try to relate it to something that sounds very foolish, but it could be like a dentistry, a doctor's office, a grocery store for that matter. Are you going to walk in as a consumer and walk right to one aisle as a grocery store, grab everything, grab the produce, go, and then tell the cashier what the code is as they're punching in and weighing out the fruit and the produce? No, you're just going to let them punch it in and do their thing. What you're going to do is you're going to like go through your cards. You're going to pull out the membership card. You're going to pull out your credit card. You're going to maybe pull out a couple coupons. You're going out there as a consumer trying to have what's in your best interest. I get that, right? So in this kind of concept too, when you're going in there as a consumer with what you feel is your best interest, remember that agents have your back too. If you're going to walk in and tell them how to do their job, going to the route of doctor or dentist, would you walk in and say, hey, I need a root canal. You're going to use this tool. We're going to do it on this day. This is how it's going to be. They're going to hate you. So if you do the same with a realtor, they might hate you. And I don't want them to. So you go in, you sound confused, fumble on your words. Don't go out there guns hot saying, ARV is this, and the repairs are going to be this, and it's going to be this kind of an issue. You're starting to talk in a different like language to them. What I'm trying to do is just build a relationship and also understand that they may or may not be a solution. So I'm qualifying them just as if they're qualifying me.
Love it.
Let's call Ruth.
Okay.
Can you guys hear this okay?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. She's not ready. She wasn't ready for us right now. It's fine. It's fine. But in all seriousness though, like, and no disrespect to anybody named Ruth. I love Ruths. Have you ever met a young Ruth? Like I don't feel like I've ever met anybody that's like 10 years old named Ruth. Like it's on a real serious conversation, right? I mean, this is the kind of stuff.
I think I have, but at the same time, I'm like, my memory is terrible. So who knows?
Let us know in the chat. Have you met a young Ruth? Like,
yeah. Let us know, guys.
The important questions. All righty. On to the next.
Joe is ready.
This is Joe Burry for Keller Williams. Thank you for calling. Please leave a message at the tone. I'll return you.
Nope. Not today.
Not ready.
We can definitely leave a voicemail, and if somebody doesn't answer, I will just leave one in one of these messages here, but trying to get somebody on the phone. Hey, Lindsay. I might have dialed the wrong number. I'm looking for Allison.
Do you have a last name?
Yeah, I might butcher how it's pronounced.
Yes.
Cool.
Let me get you.
Is she in the office at the moment, or
She's actually in our San Antonio office.
Gotcha. Okay. Which office did I call?
This is our corporate office.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, if you could just transfer me,
No,
that would be
you're
awesome.
fine. I don't have a way to transfer you, but I can give you her direct phone number if that's okay.
Cool. Yeah, let me write that down. Alrighty. We got a cell number. It's not that hard. We got this.
Yeah.
Calling Allison.
Hello,
Hey, is this Allison?
this is Allison.
Hey, Allison. I just got your number. I think I called the Keller Williams corporate office by mistake. I got the number online. I was just trying to get in contact with you.
Okay, how can I help you?
I'm not sure if you're still licensed or not. That's probably how I ended up on the corporate number. But just trying to find an agent in San Antonio. I'm based in Arizona, but needing a realtor that could help me out.
Sure. What are you needing help with?
Purchasing a property. I should probably start with that before I go down my whole spiel. My bad.
Are you looking for an investment property or are you looking for like a personal residence?
Yep. I'm looking for an investment property. I've got a couple people that I'm like partnered up with that are in San Antonio. Like I said, I'm in Arizona, but we've had to expand out to some other markets recently, and San Antonio was one of them. And so we've got pretty much all the like relationships that we need, with the only missing piece being a realtor. So I don't have like a specific property that I'm looking for, but looking for that realtor relationship that I could like work with exclusively that can help me with purchasing a few properties a year.
Okay. Do you mind me asking how you came across my contact information?
Yeah, I mean, full transparency, I like have this software called like Batch, and we go in there and we just go and we've got information of realtors, and yours was the first one that I called. And then I guess I had the wrong number. I had the corporate number.
Okay. Just to clarify, so I'm actually not with Keller Williams. I'm with JB Goodwin.
Okay. That doesn't make a difference to me. And this is probably just my like inexperience a little bit, but I was just trying to find someone out there that's licensed. When I find an opportunity that I would need an offer like written, I would want to obviously have you do that, but without wasting your time. So I don't want to like have you go and just write a bunch of like lowball offers or anything like that. But almost being like my eyes and ears on the ground. So if I'm able to maybe find another opportunity, could you help me with like making sure it's a good area, good potential opportunity, and then maybe we could list it with you on the back end. Or in a perfect case scenario, I mean, you help us find an opportunity and then also get that listing too.
Okay. So are you looking for an investment like to purchase and then flip, or?
Yep. So flip is going to be ideal. As I get a little bit more comfortable, I'd be open to buying and renting. My problem is that I've done a couple of deals before out in like Bear County, but I just, to be completely honest, I didn't really love the process. Some of the deals were a little like iffy. I think it's because it's a private state without information being like too publicly disclosed. And then also too, I mean, I just didn't love the title company. So, but that's okay. I mean, that's all stuff that we can adapt and change. And that's kind of why we went and revisited the San Antonio market. But again, only missing piece is a realtor right now.
Okay. Well, sure. I'd be happy to help you.
Cool. I'm not sure if this is like realistic or not, so I would love it if you could just like be completely honest with me. But I'm looking to buy something like realistically in the next 30 days. We've got all the partnerships I mentioned, but like a hard money lender, we have money that's burning through his pocket that's basically wanting us to use for the acquisition price. So what we are really trying to find now is a deal. So I don't really care if it's on market, off market, from even another wholesaler for that matter, but I just don't know really where to start. And part of that is the location. So if you think it's possible for 30 days, I would love to know that first. And then if so, I could kind of tell you a little bit about what flips we've done in the past and what we're looking for.
Okay. So I mean, we have a lot of inventory right now. To be honest, I am not, if you're looking for like the wholesale process, I have had a few listings that were, where I've worked with wholesalers on that side, but that's not my niche.
Okay.
I'm being completely transparent with you.
Okay.
So I don't know that I would be the best fit to look.
We're going to hype her up. Going to bring it back.
I mean, I have realtors that I know who may have properties that I could reach out to, but
Sure.
you know, I'm familiar with that process in a sense that, you know, when I have one of those listings that needs work, I get like 10 offers from, you know, at various price points from wholesalers. And I know not every title company works with them. I know which ones do and are able to. So I'm familiar with that. But if I'm being completely honest with you, that's not my expertise.
That's okay. And honestly, I'm not really looking for like the expertise in the wholesale side. We have like a whole like investment division of the company. So they're the ones that are pretty well versed. I'm kind of in the same category where I've bought a couple deals from wholesalers, but not really like an expert by any means. So in that space, I don't really mind even teaching you and showing you what our wholesale experience is in the past. But I honestly don't really care that the expertise isn't in wholesale. I just want an agent that could help me with like finding the opportunities and like helping with just a normal purchase contract and making sure it's all done properly. So I don't get burned trying to go direct to seller.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm very versed on the contract. And I'm familiar with, you know, of course I have the access to the data as well, so where you could see if it would be a good investment or not. I know from my limited experience with that type of investment that it's my understanding that y'all have not necessarily an algorithm, but when you run the numbers, you kind of base it off of percentages, not necessarily, you know, looking at comps in the neighborhood and cost of, I guess, the
She's trying so hard, and I respect it.
You'll have other numbers that you base it off of.
For sure. Yeah. And so, I mean, our process, I'll say it, and it'll probably go overhead a little bit, but I think that part of it will make sense. We take like whatever like the value is in the property after I renovate it. So like our after repair value, which is obviously based on comps and whatever we think the most is we could sell it for. We take off typically like 6-7% off the top just because of holding costs, closing costs when we buy it and sell it. And then also too, I mean, there's just like miscellaneous fees. We got to pay commissions on the back end to our realtor. So that's like our 6-7% off the top. Then I take off the cost of renovation. So that way, I mean, that's pretty subject to the house itself. I'm not really looking at like, oh yeah, it's $30,000 on every remodel. It's going to be just dependent on the square footage, the current condition, what kind of area it is and what standard we're trying to bring the flip to. And then after that, the profit margins, full transparency, I think that's where a lot of investors have gotten burned over the last like 12 months is that profit margins, we have to calculate them a little bit higher just to protect ourselves because of what we saw over the last 12 months. But if I put in 60, we typically want to make around like 40, 50, 60 on the back end too. So the after repair value timesing that 93-ish% minus the repairs, minus the profit is typically the price range that we're at. The percentage thing I think you're talking about, I know a lot of investors that do that too. It typically comes out to around like 60 low side to 75% of that after repair value.
Okay. And then what price point are you looking at?
Comfortably under 550, but like I always kind of like jokingly say to my team, but like if you found an opportunity that was too good to pass above 550, don't hesitate sending it over. I will do what I got to do to find some money to go in there and make the deal happen. But comfortably under 550, single family homes, condos, townhouses, that's kind of our jam.
Okay. And do you know what area of San Antonio you're focusing on?
Honestly, I think that's where I messed up in the past. So I would really want to lean in on you on that. Even without like, if you don't know the data or anything like that, that's no problem at all. I can kind of show you some of the stuff that we've done to track our metrics in the past and figure out what the best areas are. And then maybe together we can figure out and pinpoint a specific like pocket of where we're trying to go and find deals.
Okay. Yeah. Where have you looked before? Or where have you done projects before?
You know, I don't have a specific zip code. It's just been a minute. It's been like a year and a half, but I just know it was in Bexar County because I mispronounced it like 7 times. And then I finally got to the point where I realized it. So anything in like that county area is where I've been looking in the past, but without really a sense of direction. I think
that's was like most of San Antonio.
So was that I guess here's another one. Does Denver Heights ring a bell?
Okay, yeah, that's like in the downtown area.
Shout out to you, Michelle. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's one of the areas we looked before. I'm just not well versed in. I'm not in front of my computer at the current moment, but we could probably pinpoint a specific location together.
Okay, got it.
Cool. Cool. Well, is there anything that you need from me specifically, or what would be the next best step?
I guess I would need your contact information, so like your email address,
Sure.
and an idea of, you know, what you're looking for, and like, I guess the overall goal, so I can do some research on my end.
And then this is a great line right here that I would be using, especially with an agent like this. She's a phenomenal resource. She's a great agent. But this is a great line that I'm going to use here that is going to be a peace of mind for a lot of people.
Because you have a lot of projects, you know, like rehabs or people that need to unload the property and are willing to take a lower offer, but you know, sometimes there are some other opportunities in other areas of town.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm pretty open. As long as I can justify what the price is afterwards, it doesn't really make a difference to me.
Did y'all purchase that property and flip it?
We flipped it, but we lost money. So we ended up walking away like just about broke even. So it was definitely a loss in my eyes. But yeah, we flipped it, or attempted to, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say something to like prepare for, on especially, you know, a lot of those homes are close to 100 years old,
Yep.
and nothing has ever been done with their foundation or electrical or plumbing or anything like that. And so
You're speaking my language. That's exactly what we want. The uglier and the more distressed, the better.
Yeah, but you do want to anticipate those costs.
Higher renovation costs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. And then what I can do too, I don't know if this would be of value or not, but I mean, just for kind of reference and making sure that we've got all of our ducks in a row when we do want to write an offer, I'll send you over my contact info if you want to just forward over yours as well. I can send you over our proof of funds and then a folder with the past deals. Just to be fully transparent, it's one of my like partners, and actually he was even like a mentor of mine. So a lot of the stuff that he's done, we've done together. So I'd be more than happy to send that over. So that way, whenever it comes point to writing an offer, you kind of get the idea of what flip we're looking for, as well as having our proof of funds on record.
Okay. And so what you're wanting to have me help you with is being able to look up the numbers to see realistically what you could get after you renovate it
to an extent. And I mean,
I'm go look at it.
Yeah, definitely. So that's exactly it. So the eyes and ears, looking at properties if need be, if for whatever reason a seller or an agent's going to require us to go look at it. And then on top of that, I always believe in just, you know, the way that we speak and put things into the universe. There's going to be opportunity that you come by, whether that's from another agent, if that's on market, if that's from a wholesaler, even if a wholesaler sends something and you don't know how to run the numbers. That's something that I think that I should be able to take on pretty like easily too. I want to be the guy that could look at a number or look at a property, run some numbers and get back to you, and then just confirm with you that, hey, you think we could probably sell this for 500? You think we could probably sell this for 550, right? And then at that point, obviously, if it's on market, you could help us by writing up the contract. We've already ran through the numbers together. You might have even brought us the deal, and then we could get you paid on the front end and then also with the commission on the back end.
Okay. And then are you working with a bunch of other realtors?
Honestly, you are the first realtor that I've talked to in San Antonio. So we had you know, I had a few other calls that I was going to make, but I feel really comfortable with the conversation that you and I've had that you're definitely my number one. My biggest thing that I just try to work with, and what I've done, at least in Arizona, it's kind of like an expectation thing. I do have a couple of family friends that are realtors that whenever they do bring something, I obviously let them represent me or I'll cut them in on the deal. But that's just like here and there. So exclusivity wise, I don't really have anything tied to somebody. I'm not opposed to signing a contract if you want us to with you. My only thing would just be that it's on the property specific that you bring to us.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that's all the information that I had, and I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me and breaking all this down. I'll send you over my contact information right now, and then whatever you need from me, just let me know. But I would love to buy something ASAP. So however we could do that, looking at the MLS or talking to other people that are local, I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Okay, sounds great. What was your name again?
My name's Ryan.
Ryan. Okay, Ryan. Yeah, if you can send me over your info and then I'll forward mine as well.
Cool. Sounds good. But I really appreciate it. Thank you so much again.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Cool. Bye.
Man.
I did not have control. That was like a boom, got a jab, boom, got a jab. And then the right hook at the end, boom. The only thing I did not do properly, I did not tell her I do not want properties to be sent to me in the form of a drip campaign. Do not just put me on an automated email search. But she asked for expectations on her end. She's like, what does this look like? What do I need to do? How does this work? Like, what do you want me to do again? And I'm like, no,
I know. She wanted to do what you wanted her to do.
And I'm like, you're not running offers. Don't worry. I got this. What I need from you, you're going to tell me and confirm with me that I could sell it for the price I want it to. You're hopefully going to find these properties for me. And she even offered, do you need me to go walk these properties and take a look at them for you? Yes. You are doing everything right. The only thing that I almost had lost her with was that she's like, well, I'm not like too fluent in the wholesale space. And I just need to be very transparent. That's not my specialty. I'm like, whoa, I don't know wholesale either. So we're on the same page. We have an investment division. Let them handle that. Maybe we could share information and I'll show you what they do with wholesaling. And then if you can bring more opportunities to the table, everybody wins.
I love that.
That was beautiful, super smooth. That's exactly the kind of agent that you'd want to work with, especially in San Antonio. She even asked at the end if I'm working with other realtors. I thought that was a great point, and how I worded it. Definitely go back and rewatch that, where I was like, look, just to be honest, I have family friends that are out there, and whether it's a family friend, a family member, just a friend in general, or another colleague or somebody you know, they bring opportunities. So the only thing I'm trying to do is make sure that she understands that the exclusivity I'm willing to give you on the deals you bring me. That's where people get hung up too. It's, oh my gosh, I need to sign a buyer broker exclusive document. What's the concern? It should specify in that contract it's just on the deals that they bring to you. Because if your family friend or whoever it is that you know that's a realtor brings you something, should she get compensated on that deal? No, definitely not. Absolutely not. So instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to be honest. We're going to tell them what the game is and how we have plenty of other people that are bringing opportunities, but I still want to work with her and be a very good resource for her. So
yeah, I think that setting expectations is huge with creating relationships with anybody, of course, in any scenario, but especially with agents with this. So yeah, that was an awesome call. If you guys are on here, or if you're seeing this video later, make sure you guys put a like or hit the like button too on these videos, because this is just an hour where Ryan's going into the studio and spending his time to just share, you know, amazing information on how to build these relationships with agents. I definitely find value in it every week. I love to get to be a part of these shows with you. So if you guys are getting value out of this, then like the video.
Give us some love. We're calling Esteban.
Okay. And I took notes of all of that too, guys. So you can keep this organized when you're in the system, which is nice. Yes.
Please leave your message for 21.
Esteban. My fingers are too fat. There it is. We're calling Daniel now.
Okay.
Afternoon.
Did you say this was Daniel?
Yes.
Hey, Daniel. My name's Ryan. I'm based in Arizona. I'm an investor. I'm trying to find an agent out in San Antonio.
I'm not the one to help you.
No worries, man. I appreciate it. Daniel was too cool for me, and it was his loss.
That's right.
We got John.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
No way. It's fine. Everything's fine. We had such a good conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi. I don't know if I have the right number. I was looking for Sandra.
Yeah, this is her. How can I help you?
Hey, Sandra. My name is Ryan. I'm an investor in Arizona, just trying to find an agent based in San Antonio that could help out.
Okay.
It's
what
with
is it that
with
you're
a
looking for?
purchasing a property. I'm sorry, I should have said that.
Okay. Do you already have a property in mind?
I do not, and that's kind of why I've been looking for an agent. Full transparency, I mean, I called a couple others, but you were just the first one to answer. So I'm trying to find a property that I can write an offer on, obviously sooner than later, but I'm looking to fix and flip. So San Antonio is one of our newer markets that we've expanded into. We've done a couple deals in the past out there, but as the market's kind of shifted in Arizona, I looked into another market, and San Antonio was just one of them that caught my attention.
Okay. Now, is this going to be buying a cash? Or are you going to?
Yeah, so
Do you have
I guess I don't know if it's considered it's hard money. So
hard money?
yeah, so we have a hard money lender, and then I've got some private investors that we borrow money from, and they just kind of help us out with the cost of renovation. So I think it's treated the same like cash, but in a technicality, I guess I don't know.
Yeah, it's it's really not cash per se because they still have to go.
It's like one of the biggest debates I get into people.
Your face.
It's cash. It's fine. It's cash. It's conversation, debate for another day. I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Now, what is it that you're looking for, or are you open to all parts of San Antonio, or?
Yeah. So single family home and condos and townhouses have kind of been like our specialty in the past. So I think I'd probably want to stay in that same realm just because, especially with it being a new market, it would probably be a little bit better to stay where we're comfortable. As for like location, I guess that's probably where I'm stumped. I don't really know what the best locations are. I'm looking for a realtor because I'm open to buying a property on the MLS. I just don't really know what the best area is. I can handle running the numbers and all of that. I just would kind of want some guidance from somebody that's local that could tell me what their thought is, and then obviously represent us in the transaction too.
Okay, and on your flip, are you looking for a total flip, or you just want maybe just cosmetics, or?
Great question.
No foundation issues.
I don't have the guts that I did before, where I was going out there and just buying a bunch of properties. We got teeth kicked in last year during the correction, I guess we'll call it, or whatever happened last year. So we're really just looking for cosmetic, anything, lipstick, carpet, paint, cabinets. I can handle like one big ticket item, if that, like a AC or roof issue. But like as for redoing a floor plan, a full on gut job, replacing a roof, anything like that, or trying to stay away from those just a little bit.
Okay, definitely. I can definitely help you. And I'm so sorry you caught me. I was driving from a closing right now. But if you can send me do you already have a pre-approval from the hard money lender company?
Yep, we've got two. So I've got one from the hard money lender, and then I've got one from one of my mentors. He's kind of like one of our partners that comes in on some of the deals. So the proof of funds, whether we use the hard money lender or the private lender, I can send you both copies. And then we also have a folder with that same mentor that partners with us, so we could show you like references of our last few flips. So that way, if you want to see kind of the quality of work that we do, we could always show you that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is your budget? I mean, I can take you from different, I know different scales. I mean, there's the medium and there's a high end, or where do you want to be at?
So I think with trying to stay in a little bit of like a cheaper remodel, I should probably try to be on a cheaper price. But I also understand the market and what a cheap price is kind of just relative, especially with rates where they're at. So I think like 500K and below is where we're comfortable. But also, I mean, if a really good deal came across your table, I mean, we'll make it work. If it's above 500, it would just have to have a good enough spread on it to make it make sense.
Absolutely. And I can, do you, with my investors or so, I mean, I also give them comp what I think it's worth.
So okay, so you work with other investors then too?
I do. Yes, I do. I don't.
This is a perfect call. This is going to be a perfect full circle. We are going to.
A lot of investors. I only have maybe like 3 or 4 of them that I work with.
Okay. Do they fix and flip too then, or what's their primary focus, if you don't mind me asking?
They were hold. They buy and hold, or they fix and flip. That one's kind of sleeping. My
Sure.
investor on that one, just waiting right now.
Sure.
But definitely, I mean, I can help you if you want to write down my.
Yeah, I think I got it.
email
Is it is this the best number to text you at? Because what I can do is I can just text you my information, and then that way you have it.
Yeah.
And then
that'd be great.
perfect. And then you can just send me over your information, and I'll send you over all those docs. And then if there's anything you need from me, just let me know. The only thing that I will say, hopefully not to sound crazy, is that I would really like to buy something in the next 30 days if possible. So
Okay.
the reason I asked about those other investors is because what I've done, at least in Arizona, is a couple of the realtors that we've worked with, they have relationships with other investors who are actually wholesalers. And so if they have a property where they can walk away from it for a fee, like a wholesale fee, I'm more than happy to pay them whatever fee it is that makes sense, as long as the numbers work for us as a flip. So if they're interested in wholesaling, or if they know any wholesalers, that could always be a really good starting point for us to figure out if there's a deal available sooner rather than later.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, we have a lot of, I have access to a lot of closed groups, realtor groups, my office, or I know a lot of wholesalers, but I'll send you some
Cool.
properties.
Awesome. Well, I really
Okay.
appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I look forward to working with you.
Absolutely. Same here. What is your name again? I am so sorry.
No worries. My name is Ryan.
Ryan.
Cool.
Okay, Ryan.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Bye.
All right. That's 2 calls. They had no idea who I was, what my name was, and they both forgot, and we got down that whole conversation. So obviously, maybe I should put some more emphasis on Ryan, but also how much information did I get out of both of them before they even remembered my name? So great convo, super smooth. The thing I did there at the end was a different variety, but I wanted to show you guys the approach of going and trying to walk them to the finish line. That's saying that you can walk a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. We are walking the horse to the water, and we are putting their freaking feet in the water. So all they have to do is drink it after knowing it's water. Such a shitty analogy. And
I love it.
I
That's
apologize.
perfect.
But what I want you guys to know out of that is that she was more than receptive, because if I was trying to step on her toes and be like, this is how you need to do this, the reason I asked about your other investors was because sometimes they wholesale. So what I would love to do, if possible, is if they are willing to wholesale, why don't we just partner up on the deal? So now what she can go and do is she can learn how to wholesale from whoever the investor is. They could JV it, or I will give her a finder's fee for bringing a deal to us. So that's the game.
Guys, that was freaking 7 calls and 2 phenomenal conversations, especially the way you laid it out this time, where you're like, oh, and there's another, one of my mentors also comes in and helps with any renovation cost. If you guys didn't pick that up, that I thought was a great piece.
I did that to help a lot of people out there in the real estate investing community, because proof of funds seems to be a very big concern. Not that it really needs to be. It's super easy to handle. Obviously, a local hard money lender, one conversation, tell them you're missing out on a property or getting a deal that they would be the funder for because you don't have a proof of funds. The hard money lender will give you a proof of funds letter. That's literally just the overview of how fast it is to get one. But if you were at the point where you needed somebody, or you were hoping a mentor or a partner, JV, buyer, whoever it is going to give you a proof of funds, you could always tell them that the proof of funds is not going to come in your name or your bank account. What a lot of realtors like to do is take control because they don't want to be told how to do their job. So if you word it specific ways, you walk them to the finish line and you have control, there's nothing to worry about. So out of all those conversations or attempted conversations, the 2 that we had obviously were amazing. Those 2 realtors asked great questions. Shout out to Allison, and shout out to, what was that last girl's? Sandra. Those 2 are great realtors in San Antonio. Both have great insight, great perspectives. Notice how we went from one that's like, what do you want me to do, to the other one that's like, hey, for all my investors, I comp properties for them. Cool. Add me to the list. That's what I want.
So cool. Plus it shows you too, like with Allison, for example, how she's like, hey, I'm not super savvy with this. Like I probably can't be the gal for this, but it's like, it doesn't have to be. That's the whole idea with this. I get super stoked about it because the power in using, once again, we talk about it all the time, all of the software and the tools that make all of this stuff the easy part, where now you can focus on brushing up on your skills on the phone and getting into agent investors and getting into communities where you can go in and have those those fake calls with people and role play. Like focus on that stuff. Don't worry about the buttons, because you can pull up a list of awesome agents with 45 seconds and find people that are ready to do some deals. So I don't know. I think it's super exciting to see. So if you guys haven't liked this video, you definitely should. And if you guys have questions, put them in the chat as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. We got a few minutes here. Probably doesn't make sense to make another call. So we'll just talk here for a few. And then if you guys have questions, please, like Landry said, drop it below so we can address it, answer some questions, give you guys some free game for the last 10 minutes here. Landry, I hate to put you on the spot here, but like, what was the biggest takeaway from those calls? Was there one specific thing or nugget that might have just been overlooked by me or someone in the audience that stood out to you?
For me, I mean, one of them, both of them were phenomenal calls, but I really do, just coming back to that point, because you see it all over, even if it's something that like maybe you're not on or a live that you're a part of. I see it all the time of people being like, what you were just talking about. What about a proof of funds? What do I say when they ask me for this? The way that you laid that out, I feel like just really, it should help anybody that's had that or has had the fear of what to say about it, is setting the expectation. I feel like this whole day has been a lot about setting the expectation. Like, what do you want from me? Laying that out, making it that really clear on how you can help them. If it's not going to be in this realm, it's going to be this way. And laying out all the different options, and then making it obvious that you're not just like a straight up cash buyer where people feel like they have to be the one that have a big brick of cash in their pocket. Like, that's how I feel a lot of people kind of perceive how they have to be prepared for this. I need to be
this investor. I need to be this cash buyer. I need to have all this stuff perfect so that when the perfect opportunity comes right in front of me, I'm going to go and capitalize, or whatever the belief is. I don't know. I 100%.
It's the limiting belief. It really is. So it's like, if people lean on each other, it doesn't mean that I'm saying that making calls is easy. I would probably freaking suck at making these phone calls. It's that there's other people that have strengths that maybe you don't have. It like comes all back to that you have things that others don't have, and vice versa. So I just feel like leaning on each other for the things that you really need to brush up on, and just remembering, remembering that you don't need to have everything figured out. It's like that cliche quote of, you can't see success without failure. I know it's so cliche, and I'm like super passionate about it, but you just can't. Anybody that says you can succeed without falling and stumbling a little bit.
Definitely. And I love how you said the expectations. That's obviously one of the biggest pillars to what we do with agent outreach. Expectations just have to be clear for what you want them to do. Otherwise, they're not going to do it. That's the expectation side. The other piece is transparency. The variation I threw today, that's just to show you that if you were at the point where you felt like you didn't want to go out there and lie, well, we're not teaching you to lie. We're teaching you to go out there and find the relationships. We're teaching you to go out there and get this one, problem solve, so that if a proof of funds letter is the biggest issue. I was saying this the other day to a couple of people in Agent Investors, and I was like, look, what you need to remember is that whatever the issue is, or whatever you feel the biggest issue is in your business, I promise you, if the opportunity in a deal came across your table, the last thing you are worried about is a proof of funds. The last thing you're worried about is which contract to use. The last thing you're worried about is, where does my earnest money come from? Why? Because you have communities around you. You have a show like this. Shoot, if you guys didn't realize this already, I am a buyer. I will literally go out there and put earnest money up for you. I will put up non-refundable earnest money. We will do all the paperwork for you. We will help you JV it if we are not the buyer, and we will tell you all the stuff we're doing, CC you on all the emails, so that your first deal is literally getting your hand held, walked across the finish line, and being taught how to do it in the form of a real life example. So you don't have anything to worry about. You just need to go out there and take action. And I love how Landry said it. You don't see the success without the failure. What I just want you guys to remember is that Rome wasn't built in a day, and nothing in this is going to be perfect. In fact, this is going to be perfectly imperfect, and that's what's going to lead to success. Taking the action and making mistakes is just the first phase. The people that typically take the biggest leaps to success are the ones that make the most amount of failures fastest, but they have the right supporting community around them to help solve the problems as they pop up. Not worrying about hypotheticals. What if? Hey, this happened. That's called a roadblock. We can get around roadblocks. When we start thinking about hypothetical roadblocks, you don't even get in the car. So what we need to do is we need to make sure the engine's going, the vehicle's moving, and as things pop up, we know how to maneuver around them. So
love it. And people have some really good questions here too.
Let's do it.
Let's see. Lenny says, By the way, I'll remind you, or maybe bring it up right now as well as you're talking about agent investors, because I don't see your link up for that, but you guys should get in there where you guys can go into the community as well.
Yeah, I'll just have that going as we go through the comments.
Yeah, great.
agentinvestors.com/Discord brings you to the link for the Discord. If you have any issues or anything, just comment below here so we can make sure you guys get the right link. But inside Agent Investors Discord, we have live coaching every single day, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Arizona time, 8 a.m. Central, until we have our little clocks go back or whatever. I don't know. Arizona doesn't change times.
Yeah.
So 6 a.m. right now is the current time for Monday through Friday coaching, but it goes for about an hour and a half. Would love for you guys to be a part of it. It's free. There is no catch. There is no games. It's just live calls, community. It's people in my Agent Investors Discord that are out there just doing the work. So rather than doing the work alone, they're working together as a community.
Perfect. Okay. Lenny. Yeah. So here's his question.
So do reverse wholesale letting the, okay. So he's asking, do you do the reverse wholesale, letting the buyer make the offer before locking it up? It's a great question. I teach in Agent Investors that having a couple of those JV partners and like legitimate cash buyers that could give you a non-refundable earnest money offer, a legit offer, those are great to have. The proper and ethical way to wholesale is going to be doing it through equitable interest. And equitable interest is when you have earnest money deposited to title, which gives you the legal right and ability to wholesale the property. So on a technical note, reverse wholesaling, finding a buyer first and bringing a property is technically in that category of like daisy chaining. If you don't have an executed contract or an assignment or an option on that property to be able to go and market it. So the proper answer is no. Now, if you have a JV partner or someone a part of your operation, I don't think having one person overview your properties that you're looking at is necessarily bad. Just obviously make sure that's a buyer that's not going to go around you. If you bring a deal to a buyer before you have it under contract with an assignment or a purchase contract or an option, it's free game. That buyer could definitely go around you. So just make sure to protect yourself.
Probably should be somebody you trust to, see if what they would offer for something like that.
Correct.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Correct. Abraham said, how would your call to a hard money lender sound like when requesting a proof of funds? Wish we had that comment a few minutes ago. I would have called a hard money lender.
Oh, yeah. Dang. Yeah, maybe we should do that too. That's
Google.com. Great website. Love this one. Local hard money lenders near me. Then you're going to get a number of them. If you see ad, you see sponsored, they're obviously paying money to appear. What your conversation looks like, this is where you have to understand what your intention is with purchasing these properties. If you are just a wholesaler, you are just a wholesaler. If you are a real estate investor, you are a real estate investor. So what I mean by that is that we are problem solvers. And as real estate investors, our intention can be to purchase a property for a fix and flip, for a buy and hold, for a, let's say that we're going to end up going and doing some kind of creative structure on this. There's a few different outcomes, obviously, that we could go and do. So our intention is to purchase every property. So when we're going in with the intent to purchase a property, what are some of the requirements that we might need? You don't need past deals to show people that you're legit. What most realtors are going to use to qualify you as an actual buyer is going to be proof of funds. That's all they care about, which is why most of them will ask how you're financing or if you're paying cash. That's why I played dumb and I was like, well, it's hard money. Does that count? Absolutely. That is still cash. It's treated as cash because there is no contingencies. So with that, a local hard money lender pops up on Google. Hey, my name is Ryan. Just wanted to call and introduce myself. I'm not sure. Do I have the right number? Is this the lending department? Okay, cool. It's a receptionist. They transfer you to whoever it is. It's a mortgage underwriter. It's a hard money lender, whatever the department is that does the hard money lending. Okay. Hey, my name is Ryan. I'm calling about a couple questions. So I just wanted to first off introduce myself. I'm looking to build a relationship and hopefully create a win-win situation where we can do some deals together. I'm an investor in the area and I'm trying to go out there and purchase a property. I'm working with a couple of realtors and I also have some properties being sent to me by wholesalers. One of the hangups that I ran into recently is that I don't have a proof of funds letter. And I, quite frankly, I understand why an agent's asking for that. One of my questions is that, do you guys provide that? And how do I go about obtaining one if I were to go and use you guys as a hard money lender in the transaction? They would obviously then pass along proof of funds letter, because if that's the only hangup between you and the deal and them getting business, that's why they would do it. The name of the game here. Well, what happens when I wholesale the deal? You tell the hard money lender that I wholesale the deal. Hey, I got an offer that made too much sense to go out there and take down as a flip when I could have just turned around and wholesaled it and make 10, 15, 20K. But what I did do is that I asked the buyer if they already have a hard money lender, and they told me that they would love to shop around some rates. So if it's possible and if it's okay with you, even though I'm not purchasing this one, I was wondering if I could give you a referral to that buyer and you could reach out to them directly. So no, you didn't guarantee them business, but you also didn't take away business, because if you went in and lied and said, I'm going to go buy every property that I get under contract, Don't do that. You're a real estate investor, not a real estate wholesaler. Your intent could be to purchase it. Your intent could be to flip it. Your intent could be to buy and hold it. But if you wholesale it, that could just be a good strategic business move. So obviously there's no hard feelings there. And if anything, they will appreciate the referral to the buyer because you don't need to do that. So that's how the conversation would go with a hard money lender, at least how I would recommend having it. It's how I've gotten proof of funds letters from hard money lenders. And then as time went on, you build up enough money from wholesale, you can go out there and actually fix and flip the properties and use that hard money lender that was able to give you the proof of funds.
Perfect. Thanks for laying that out too. That was a really good question by Abraham.
I've said these daily calls in Discord have been a game changer. Let's get you crushing the phones. And what's up, Steven?
Yes.
Beautiful. Well, guys, that concludes today's Agent Outreach Live. We appreciate you guys so much. Please, please, please make sure to sign up for batchleads.io/Zolin for a 7-day free trial. Get your 1,000 records. Take advantage of that before it is gone. On top of that, make sure to join our community Discord. We'd love to see you in there. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. And for those that have watched the replay, we will see you guys next week. Peace out.
Thanks, guys.